thank you. That was some great music, some great music. Was hoping to listen to some Mac Drayers some right now with Councilman Hakeem Brown here from Vallejo. So this is one of my favorite elected officials. That reason why is because I've been in Vallejo for 19 years and I've never seen someone so active in the community. And he creates opportunities for the residents to get involved. He has his town hall meetings once a month, which he's been very consistent, even with the COVID-19 going on. He has opportunities to clean the streets, clean with Hakeem. And yeah, so he's going to tell you more about himself. So if you could tell us your position and what you're responsible for.
Okay, well, thank you all for having me on, and thank you all for the work you're doing as we're talking about Census 2020. My name is Councilman Hakeem Brown for the city of Vallejo. And basically, some of my responsibilities are we help run the city, we decide who the city manager and city attorneys are, and through them, we also work on policy to help create a better city for our community.
Okay. Well, thank you for all that you do. And so, as far as with COVID-19, you are also a business owner. How has COVID-19 affected you as a business owner?
Well, I think that first and foremost, one thing that I've tried to really encourage my fellow business owners, not just in my industry, but in any industry, is just to remember that first and foremost, we are human beings, and we need to make sure that we are being compassionate when it comes to our customers as well as our employees. And life needs to be at the forefront, I think, of every decision you make as a business owner. It is not about the bottom line. It's about making sure that we are adhering to the protocols to hopefully help flatten this curve. And making sure that we're taking care of our customers, especially in my industry. I am a cannabis dispensary owner. We do get a lot of patients, and I think a lot of seniors and things like that. And so I think my first thought was, how do we protect those who are most vulnerable? Because literally, we have people coming in who are, whether they're dealing with HIV, cancer, glaucoma. These are people who have preconditions oftentimes, and seniors. So I think the first thought is, from a business owner, is how do I protect those who happen to come into my business, as well as my employees. I think that, obviously the bottom line is second, though I do understand from a business standpoint why, there's a lot of concern out there about making sure that small businesses stay afloat. I think that is very important, because as businesses stay afloat, then we know families are staying afloat. We know that citizens are staying afloat. So I think that it's really from a compassionate standpoint at first, and realizing that if we all are adhering to the protocols, there's a better chance of business picking back up and us being able to get back to a sense of normalcy.
So as a city official, how has the COVID-19 affected you? I see that, I follow you on Facebook, and I see that you're very consistent with sharing information with the community, letting them know how everything is going, what resources are out there. So how has it affected you as an elected official?
I think as an elected official, I'm from the city of Vallejo, and I think that I definitely have like a complex where I look at the city like, this is my city. I'm responsible, put here by the citizens to serve and do the work of the people. So I think it becomes a very personal thing, where your first thought is, how do we ensure that we don't lose any lives here in Vallejo, and fighting to preserve life here in Vallejo. And then I think from that standpoint, making sure that everyone's adhering to the protocols. I had a meeting with faith leaders from throughout the community, and making sure that early on we are giving out the information and making sure that everyone has access to the information, because obviously information is key, knowledge is power in this situation. The more we know, the more that we can adhere to some of these protocols and hopefully save lives. And then secondly, I would say, I'm always thinking about the economy because the economy affects everybody, including families here. And so how do we keep our businesses afloat? How do we ensure that we have access to some of the relief funding? How do we stay abreast of what's going on and making sure that our businesses have the resources that they need? They know where they can get it. They have the websites. They have all of those things, as well as protecting those who are most vulnerable, like the homeless population, our seniors who may not be on Facebook or online or just sitting in their house and really don't know how to operate. I think that that's important as we set up a hotline. So I think that for me, it's only enhanced kind of a need for compassion from my position.
Y'all see why he's my favorite? This is good. Okay, okay. So, what lessons do you think that we're learning from this COVID-19?
Well, I think that, low-hanging fruit, I would say that, people are definitely hopefully learning that washing your hands is very important. We could probably prevent a lot of deaths from the flu and things like that if we just washed our hands. We're cognizant of that. But I think from a 30,000 foot level, some of the things that I've learned is our decisions matter. I think that cities who have, the more prepared you can be for economic downturn or a rainy day or an emergency, the better off you're going to be as a city. I think that we could do a better job of that. I mean, I think that as we're looking at decisions that have been made in the past when it comes to economic development and how that affects what's going on now, because we were struggling in that area already, and now I really worry about all the citizens who are affected, whether you have lost your job or you're on unpaid leave and things like that. So I think it really magnifies that every decision matters, every decision counts, and it maybe things are going great right now, but the thought always has to be when things aren't going great and making sure that we're making sound decisions for the community.
It's true. I agree with everything you said. So today is Census Day, worldwide, nationwide. And so what we want to do is inform our viewers about the importance of participating in the census. So can you share with us your perspective about the census?
So a couple things. I just got off of a White House teleconference for leaders throughout the United States. And I think that one of the things that we talked about is relief from, some of the COVID-19 pandemic, whether it's for businesses, whether it's for families. The first thing that they brought up was census. And they said that that's how they will determine who gets what. So I think that really hits home the fact that, the more that we can make sure that we participate in the census, the better chances that we're going to get the funding that we need, whether it's for a pandemic in this situation or anything. I think that obviously one of the things that I've really learned is everyone counts and every body counts. We have to get those numbers in. Everyone needs to be counted because it literally affects the money that we receive. They use that to determine who gets what and how big a piece of the pie you get in any situation. So I think that we as a community need to kind of realize that it only hurts us if even one person isn't counted, because you still have a smaller pie with the same population, and that's not good. We want to make sure that we're getting the exact piece of pie that we're supposed to get for the amount of people who live here. For me, I think that it is all about serving the community, and I know that by doing the census count, we'll be better able and ready to serve our community.
Y'all see why he's my favorite? So it is important, like you said, with everything going on, the funds that we receive, $675 billion will be distributed across all the states. And that amount that we receive is determined by the count of the census. So this is why this information is very important, you guys. It's very important that you participate. Get online, 2020census.gov. You can also call in at 1-844-330-2020. Do all you can today to participate. We need these fundings. These fundings are, the impact is critical. It's healthcare, childcare, any kind of funding for housing is very infrastructure is important that you participate. Is there anything else that you want to share with us, Councilman Brown?
I would just say I want to thank you all for the work that you're doing. I think it's very important, especially as we look at social media as a way to reach the people. I think that that's obviously very, very important. And just want to thank you all for the work you're doing, and thank you to everyone who's tuning in and actually filling out their census. You know, I think that this is a team effort. This is a community effort. And we in the Bay Area and in California, we want to make sure that we're counted. We want to make sure that as the most, populous state, that we're receiving the funding and the support that we need from the federal government.
Well, thank you for your knowledge about the census and everything that you shared. And, if you was ever to run for the mayor of Vallejo, you have my vote.
Oh, you have my vote too.
Hey!